Hello again, Boss Heroes, and welcome to BossBetter Now. Today, I'm flying solo. We've given Alyssa the week off, and so now you will have just me, just my voice in your ears for this week. I'm excited because we have landed at the start of summer. And this summer, there's going to be a vacation explosion. We're seeing it already. People are traveling, they're departing, they're making plans. They're figuring out where they can go to get away and recharge. For many folks, you'll get to spend time with family that perhaps you haven't seen in a while. And while we all still need to be careful and follow the science, it does feel like this summer will resemble what is perhaps the closest to a normal summer than we could have hoped for. And that's great. But we've got a little bit of a conundrum ahead of us. And it's related to something that happened to me a few years ago after I attempted to complete the intense exercise program P90X. I'll be married 15 years this summer, and I remember getting ready for my wedding and feeling like I wanted to get into a little bit better shape. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a rippling physique. The problem is it was rippling in all the wrong places. And I remember early one morning flipping through the stations on TV and coming across an infomercial for this intense exercise program called P90X. Now, most of the things they try to sell you on TV, they market by saying that it's easy and that it's cheap and easy and anybody can do it. And P90X takes the opposite approach. What they say is, we're going to kick your butt for 90 days. It's really hard, but you're going to get results. And the infomercial actually shows a lot of side-by-side pictures. Here's where I was on day 1, and here's where I was on day 90. And I was very intrigued. I thought, 90 days? I can do anything for 90 days. Well, that was the first error in judgment in a series of errors in judgment, as you are about to hear. I saw the infomercial a couple more times, and I ended up telling my fiance, my soon-to-be wife at the time, that I was thinking about ordering the product. I had tried and failed a number of times to take some weight off, and I thought, this kind of all-in intensive approach, I can get behind that. I asked her if she wanted to do it with me, and she was a little bit hesitant, but she wanted to support me, so she said, okay, I'll give it a try. I will tell you that about halfway through the program, she said, this isn't for me. She will tell you that she is a proud graduate of P45X. When we got the program, I was ready to dive in. And so the first day of exercise, I attacked it. And what they tell you is that each of the workouts is about 60 minutes. Well, that's if you never press pause. So most of my workouts took about 90 minutes, but I was committed. So on that first day, I went all in on the workout. And the next morning when I woke up, boy, I was sore. But I said, I'm going to push through. So I did the second day's workout. A lot of push-ups and pull-ups and really intense work. And when I got up the morning after that, I was really sore. But I knew that the only way this was going to happen, the only way I was going to get this transformation was just to plow through. And so I did. I did the third workout and then the fourth workout. And by the fifth day, I literally could not move. I woke up unable to move from the waist up. I vividly remember my now wife having to help me put on my dress shirt for work because my arms just sort of hung out at the sides as if they had no function at all. She had to button the buttons on my shirt. I was in a tremendous amount of pain. I went to the doctor eventually after feeling this way for a couple of days, and it didn't lessen, it didn't abate. I was really suffering. More so than I ever had before in terms of being sore from any kind of exercise. And when I went to the doctor, I was diagnosed with delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS. And I think if my memory serves, it was really about the buildup of lactic acid around the muscles and had settled in and really caused a lot of pain and inflammation. And what he told me was the only way through this, the only path to recovery for you is rest. You went too hard for too long and your body's been damaged. And you need to give your body a chance to recover. And I think our workforce is in the exact same circumstance. We have spent the better part of the past 14 months going hard, enduring one of the most stressful, anxiety-filled, disruptive periods of our adult life. And like a redlining engine, our efforts have resulted in us potentially breaking permanently. We have not provided for the rest and recovery needed to heal from everything that has taken place. If you think about where your staff is right now, they're probably still coming to work, but I'd be surprised if they were given 100%. You've probably seen your folks going through the motions. Maybe people just feel stuck. They're there, but they're not entirely plugged in. Maybe you feel this way yourself. It's not a surprise. You've probably heard us talk on the podcast before about languishing and about that name for this sort of in-between space of mental health between depression and flourishing. I think there's going to need to be a tremendous amount of attention paid to this state of being and the lack of rest and recovery that many in the workforce have received. Think about it. Most adults work 49 weeks out of the year in order to get 1 week of vacation. There's 52 weeks in the year. We work 49 weeks. We get a couple of paid holidays and maybe 1 or 2 sick days in there. And we do it all in the hopes of getting our 1 week off, our 1 week of vacation. And that's sad to think about, isn't it? That we bust our hump all year long just to get 1 week, if you're lucky, at the beach or at the lake or camping or doing whatever it is that you do to recharge and renew. And the truth is, though, this is a uniquely American experience. Americans are the most overworked population on Earth as far as industrialized countries go. Here's some data for you that I pulled. 76% of Americans work more than 46 hours per week. 134 countries on Earth have laws limiting the length of the work week. The U.S. does not. In an average year, Americans work 137 hours more than the Japanese, 260 hours more than the British. And believe it or not, Americans work on average 499 hours a year more than the French. Sacre bleu. Nearly every industrialized nation on Earth has a workforce that gets 20 paid vacation days a year. In Finland and France, they get 30. In the United States, the average worker gets 9.7. But for many workers, that has to include any sick time. And very few Americans actually use their full vacation time. In fact, only 54% of Americans use their full vacation time in a calendar year. Do you know why? They're afraid of falling behind at work. Now let's think about what happened in 2020. Vacations got canceled, right? 72% of Americans skipped any vacation whatsoever. Also in 2020, 53% of workers indicated they had worked longer hours. And right now, 61% of our workforce is telling us that they find it harder to unplug after work. A recent survey had a stunning number. 77% of workers indicated they had experienced burnout in the last few months. Now, I know what you're thinking, but hey, we get to get away this summer, right? I'm going to get to go on vacation and recharge. Hooray! Folks, our workforce has essentially gone 2 years without a vacation. And one of those years was the most challenging year of our lifetimes. Do we really think getting 1 week off this summer is going to set us all right? I think there needs to be an understanding and an adoption of a mindset for the year ahead. And that is that the pandemic isn't ending. We're just moving into the next phase. And that next phase is the long, slow mental health recovery from languishing, from all of that stress and anxiety. And to an extent, that recovery is going to be hindered by the nonstop encroachment of the American workload. I will argue that one of the only ways to repair the damage from the year that was, and to actually help people achieve a healthier state of being in the year to come, is to help people get away more often. We're seeing companies do this now. Just a few weeks ago, LinkedIn added a week of paid vacation for all of their employees. Citigroup has gifted some of their employees some paid mental health days that they can take when they want. You're seeing companies hire more help, create longer weekends, adjust schedules, grant early dismissals, randomly close on certain dates, and dramatically increase how they encourage their personnel to use their PTO. This is going to be critical in the year ahead. And so I want to encourage you, boss heroes, to be more flexible when it comes to helping your folks get away, to encourage them to get away. When you see folks who are kind of remaining plugged in at work when they are supposed to be using their vacation time, please encourage them not to do that. Let them know that you want them to disconnect, you want them to unplug. We all need a break from the demands of our jobs. And I'm here to tell you that 1 week this summer isn't going to cut it. In the year ahead, in the months to come, start thinking about how you can help your people take breaks and get away more often. What do you think? Are you going to get the chance to take a little bit more vacation in the year ahead than maybe in years past? What kinds of innovative things are happening where you work to help people disconnect and reset and recharge? I would love to hear about those. You can email the show at bossbetternow@gmail.com. If you're watching this episode on video, either on our YouTube channel or on our BossBetter site or Facebook page, then just drop a comment in the box below. We'd love to hear from you, and if you share any innovative ideas for how you're helping people get away, we may spotlight them on the show and send you some cool BossBetter swag.